Hey guys, it's Untitled. So today we're going to be doing a pick a crystal reading. So you will have Selenite, Shungite, and Malachite to choose from. I will show that in just a second, but as always, since this will be general, so you can take what resonates and leave what doesn't. The whole thing doesn't have to resonate with you. The whole thing may resonate with you, and none of it may resonate with you, and that's okay. Let's just have a little fun with it. Let's see who I pick up on, and hopefully there's some messages in here for you. Anyway, let me show the crystals to you. Let me pause real quick. Okay, so these black crystals here are the Shungite. The white ones here are the Selenite, and this green one is the Malachite. So whichever one draws your eye, choose that one, and of course I'll have the timestamps in the description. I think we're going to start with the Malachite. Okay, so getting into the Malachite, just getting into that energy. Um, I see someone like crying in a corner and basically asking why what they did wasn't enough. What did they do wrong? So basically, I feel like the direction of this reading is going to be a closure reading. So for the people who that resonates with and who chose the Malachite, we'll see what I can do to get you some closure, for a closure reading. So anyway, let me get some cards for you. And now some sticks out in my head. You can do everything right in the wrong situation, and it just still just doesn't work out because they're just it's just life's funny like that for some reason. Like you do everything right in the wrong situation, and it's still wrong. You know what I mean? So don't be so hard on yourself. Is really what sticks out to me. Just message in my head. Anyway, so let me actually get some cards though. So looking into your reading, let's just show you what you got. You got the Hangman, you got the Empress. So far that's Neptunian energy, could be Pisces. That's also Venus energy, could be Venus or Taurus, could be you or the other person. Could just be in your chart or their chart. Doesn't have to be, but just for reporting purposes. We got the Two of Swords, Six of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Three of Coins. We got the Queen of Swords, Two Cups, and this Nine of Swords. Oh, and down below, we got the Five of Cups, Ten of Coins, and the Knight of Wands. I went ahead and drew advice, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So basically with this, the Hangman, I'm really getting that Neptunian aspect to the Hangman. It's like you are hanging there just really in this painful situation, trying to think about what happened, what went wrong, and all that. Kind of like that energy I picked up on before. But the thing is, you have your eyes closed to the reality of the situation. You're still living in the illusions. You're not really seeing things for what they were. You still have them on this pedestal. You're still like, oh, they were such a wonderful person. What the hell even happened? You know what I mean? So, and with this Empress, it's just like one of you, because the energy could always be reversed. You could be the other side of this, but I'm assuming you're the Empress. The Empress, you could be this very, whoever is the Empress. If you are, we're going to move on. I've already said that the energy could be reversed, claim whatever side you're on, but the Empress is just giving the love, like freely. They're like, oh, you need support, you need some nurturing, come here, I got you. You know what I mean? And the other person is just really anxious and they're like, this feels kind of suffocating. Like I just noticed like the clothes felt really tight to me on this, and this deciding like what do I want to do felt really suffocating, and like there's just not a real good match of energy here because all these cups have all these flowers and then that top cup doesn't have one, you know what I mean? So it's just like what why doesn't the top one, why can't you give as much? I don't know. like the other person still enjoys it. Like you can see on the little boy's face. Oh, look, there are 3 flowers each. But it always looks like that top cup just doesn't have a flower in it. Well, actually, it doesn't. I don't know. Because there's like a flower at the base. But anyway, it feels like not, like you can't give as much, but like the other side still appreciated it. But it's just like the side that had issues giving but still tried was just so anxious about the like agreement that you both had. Like it's just like, oh, I don't know if I can do as much as you can do. Like I'm not as comfortable doing all these lovey-dovey stuff. It's basically how it feels. Like one of you was really emotional and the other was more in the logic realm, or just not really comfortable with expression, basically. And with this Queen of Swords, I don't think they're like the situation was clear. Like I don't think there was any lies or deception there. That's a Libra card, by the way, if I didn't say that. So Libra's on the board twice. Um, but like everything's cut and clear, everything's plain to see. I think this was an honest situation. It's just one person was uncomfortable with the amount of emotional giving, is basically how I'm feeling this. It's like we can work together, and it's like, oh, see how one side's like, yes, I'm excited for this, like I'm really excited for this, and the other side's just like, oh, this makes me nervous. It's almost like an avoidant type of attachment, if you know attachment styles, but and it's like they're actually more comfortable not having their heart on their sleeve and being that mystery and just being like, are you my option? I don't know. Like, let's just play it cool, you know? Why we gotta be so serious? They're more in that realm. Like they may be heavily tied to you and not talking to anyone else, but they don't want you to know that. You know? They're kind of more in that realm. They don't really want to talk about how they feel because they're scared they'll be hurt, basically. And in the end, that ended up hurting them. So with these bottom 3 cards, I just see them, they're still hung up on this, if that makes you feel any better if you're on the Empress side. The person who wasn't as expressive is still hung up on this. They may be getting other offers, but even if they're participating, they're not really participating because they're still hung up on you. They're still hung up in this situation, which is kind of sad, but the whole thing is with this, I see them still kind of fantasizing like what your future could have been, how you guys could have got together, but with that Knight of Wands energy, by the way, that's Leo energy. I just see them like that's all they're doing though. It's just in their head. I don't see them really putting any action towards it. It's just they're daydreaming a lot, basically, which kind of goes back to that Hangman Neptunian illusions type of thing. So I think that's kind of why it's on the board. So as far as advice, we have, I guess this could really go for either side. We have the 4 of Cups. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Cups. And we have the King of Cups. Basically, what I'm getting off of these, by the way, Virgo and Cancer is here, but it's in the advice, so I'm like, but still could relate to you somehow. I get this more of you should find someone who can match your energy. There's 2 kings in this spread, right? So, wait, it's not Virgo and Cancer. This is Virgo and Pisces. My bad. Anyway, 2 kings are on here. I don't know why I said Cancer. That may end up being important. Maybe there is a Cancer who needs to hear this message. But anyway, so match your energy. One person burns out too quickly, the other doesn't. Like maybe you need to find someone who burns at the same length that you do. Like you need some time apart. Okay, find someone who's okay with it. Who needs more time apart? You're a little more clingy. That's okay. Find someone who's a little more clingy. You know what I mean? And of course, in my head, I'm like, well, you should be okay without somebody, but if you want the companionship, if you're good, if you have your, well, first of all, like, I don't know that you completely have the emotional stability with this 4 cup, so you may need to work on yourself a little bit, being okay with being by yourself with that 4 cups. But I think it is important that you find in your next relationship somebody who can match energies because energies weren't, it's like they were trying to match and it was being exhausting. So if you're the one who was trying to put more energy than you had, it exhausted you. um, if you're the other side, that's not saying anything bad about you, it's just incompatible, like, emotional natures, basically. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for. No, there's something else. I don't know what else, but hold on. Let me draw some cards. So we have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Three of Swords, and we have the. That was the Nine of Coins. Hold on, what's that? The Nine of Coins. So basically, what I'm seeing in this is stop waiting. Like it's like you're waiting on your ex to just come in and swoop you off your feet again. Like it looks like you're doing good on your own, like visually. Like you may be really focused on your money right now. You may be really getting that back. You may be stable in that way, in that sense. But like mentally and emotionally, you're still kind of a wreck here. So you may be doing good in other senses, but I think you're just kind of betraying yourself here with that Seven of Wands, kind of going back to that Neptunian energy with that Hangman card. So basically, it's like, okay, they're not coming back in to sweep you off your feet. They're like, stop wishing that would happen. Stop manifesting it. Like sometimes an ex is an ex for a reason, and you gotta let them go. With this Hermit card, I just kind of heard like being accepting the situation for what it is and being okay with it being done. I know it's not the easiest thing to hear, but sometimes that's just what has to happen because, like I said in this reading, it's like one person didn't have the energy to match the other, exhausted one, and the other just kind of got into this anxious, like, well, what was wrong with me? Like, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. They just couldn't. They just didn't have the energy. They just didn't have the energy to reciprocate, basically. So hopefully that helps. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the next set of crystals. Will be the Shungite. Okay, so if you were attracted to these lovely Shungite, this video is for you. So getting into the energy with the Shungite, I kind of feel like you've been distracting yourself lately, but I don't know. We'll draw some cards and get more into it. All I know is that I just feel like I'm in the sky flying, like having so much fun, but then it feels like my mind keeps trying to shift back into a more serious matter. And it's just like, no, no, let's not think about that. Like, I'm in the middle of the sky flying right now. Like, I don't want to go back to that. Like, no. It really feels like a heavy distraction right now. So, anyway, we're going to draw some cards and just kind of we'll take it from there with the cards. Let me get some cards. So you got the Seven of Cups, you got the Ten of Coins, you got the Ten of Wands, you got the Two of Cups reversed, and you got the Queen of Swords reversed up top. Basically, with those, Queen of Swords is Libra energy, by the way. I think you're just trying to like shut off your emotions and just have fun because, like, basically your plans got interrupted here is what I'm getting. Like the agreement, the clarity, like it's all out the window basically. The truth, what was the truth? I don't even know. Like I don't know what the truth was, so I don't even want to think about it. Like let's just even take it off the table. Like fuck it, I don't even care. Because you know what? Thinking about it is such a burden. I don't even want to be there. It kills me to think about it. I'd rather be in the sky flying right now than thinking about it because you know what? I was happy there, and now I don't feel anything, so I'm just gonna have fun. So it's just kind of like it's basically like you're being having fun and trying to prove that you're having fun by being like dangerous, basically. Like it kind of made me think of a conversation I just had. And it's like, your mind is like, I'm sad and I want to talk about it. I want to sit here and say the things. Like, you basically need to get it out. But then you start being like, I'm drunk. I'm having fun. Ain't I fun? Like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's no, and not that it's wrong with you. It's just like an emotional turmoil type of thing. And it's like, no, like all these distractions, like, look how fun I am. I'm fine. Like, nobody needs to worry about me. But come on, what are you doing? Like, and with this moon card, that's a Pisces card, by the way. I just kind of feel like some days it bothers you more than others. Some days you're like totally fine, and some days you're a complete wreck, and every day in between, basically, with that moon card. It really just depends on the day. Like, you're taking this day by day. Um, and I go back to the distraction. It's kind of like, how many, like, thinking about like the days that are really good. How many distractions did you have that day? And the days that are really bad, did you sit at home doing nothing? Like, are you actually working through these, or are you just distracting yourself? Because it looks like it's still heavily weighing on you. This looks like an awful pose to try to do, but you keep looking forward and you just keep trying to move forward, and it's like eventually it's just gonna leave my body. No, no, it's not. It's not. It's not. You're gonna have to face it at some point. It's like you got your eyes closed to both good and bad. You're just like, I'm not looking at the bad past, and I'm not looking to the future. We're just having fun right now. Like, no, no, no. Like, I don't. When it comes to emotions, like, it's almost like you're trying to be a robot. You're like, I don't have any emotions at all. Like, fuck all of them, basically. Um, but it's funny with this page of wands and this four of wands, fire energy, but it's just kind of like, it's romance, but it's not. It's romance without emotions, if that's making sense, because you are shutting off your emotions. So maybe that qualifies as lust. Is it? Yeah, it's kind of feeling like lustful moments. Um, and I don't know if that apply. It doesn't really feel like that can apply to just a person. Like, what would be a romantic situation, like a hookup type of thing. I don't know that it just applies to that. It can be like a lust for adventure, or like just doing anything that gets you out of bed and gets you excited. Like, you're just, I heard drugs, but it doesn't necessarily have to be drugs. It's like anything that can get you that high, basically, get you intoxicated, going zip lining, like almost doing like dangerous activities that aren't really dangerous, but like, I can't think of thrilling. Maybe thrilling's a good word, but it's just like, just to get your mind off of it. You think that like doing all these things are just going to be amazing, but it's still there in the back of your head, isn't it? I mean, you may be having a good time. I'm not going to discount that. Like, you may be making some good memories. I won't discount that. Like, you may be doing good for yourself and getting some of this out of your system and being and prepping yourself to go through the work here, but like, it's not disappearing. Like, it's evident in this. If your plan is to make it disappear doing this, it's not working. Um, but because it did kind of feel like you're just doing these things just to like not think about it, basically. But I'm gonna draw some advice, and hell, I don't know. The advice maybe it's not time to think about it yet. I don't know. Let's see what the cards say. Okay, so as far as advice goes, you got the nine of cups, you got the seven of coins, and you got the four of coins. And I just keep hearing one day at a time in my head. So it's just kind of like what I was saying earlier. One day, it feels like your moods kind of swing. Like, one day you're having the time of your life, which I don't really think anything is bad with that. But then another day you may be having a low. I think you shouldn't feel shame when you're feeling those lows. Let yourself experience it. Like, dive into those lows. Let yourself feel it. Is kind of what I'm getting from that. Like, I wouldn't say stop doing the fun things. Like, no, like, what kind of life would that be, right? Let yourself be miserable all the fucking time. Like, no, no. But whenever you're having those moments, whenever you're just really in it, like, don't make yourself feel bad for it, because your emotions are valid. It's okay to feel that way. It is. So let yourself feel that way, explore why you're feeling that way, maybe even doing a meditation, some shadow work, and coming to peace with it, accepting it, and just letting it exist and not trying to shove it down like, no, not today, no, not, let it be. Let it be. Because ultimately you should be focused on having, I think your intent is to like have the best time for you, have the best emotional outlook for yourself, and that's why you're doing all these fun things. But ignoring the negative is just gonna like repress, 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 and then one day it's like I can't take it anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to grow, and you don't have to tackle it all at once. Like you don't have to make your emotions one big project where like one day you have to just sit down and solve it all. Like no, you can take it like one bit at a time, one day at a time, basically. You know what I mean? So seemed like that was your advice. Hopefully that helps. We're gonna go ahead and get on to the selenite. I'm losing daylight, so I may have to turn on the lights too. I kind of like it without the light. Anyway, next is selenite. Hey people who chose the selenite. So basically getting into it, what I got was, I think you guys are trying to, you want to know what decision to make basically. Like when I was getting into it, I just saw you, or a person really, it may not be you. I saw like three paths. So it's like, I don't know if everyone has three different options. I don't even know how this relates. Yeah, this could be career, this could be love, this could be cities you want to move to. I don't know. So what I'm going to try to do is I want to draw a card. I think where I'm going to start is draw a card or two to like try to make an indicator of like all three choices because I did see three different paths. So yeah, we'll start there. Okay, so I got cards for all three scenarios. So basically, we got the devil in one. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn in that option, but what I really get from that is the whole, it's where you're comfortable, but comfortable isn't always a good thing. Sometimes you're comfortable in a toxic situation. Sometimes you're addicted to things that aren't good for you, just aren't doing you any good, but it feels good, so you keep doing them, right? The devil can be about addiction, so that can be like alcohol. There's plenty of people addicted to alcohol, drugs, you name it, whatever. They make them feel good, but not necessarily good for them. You know what I mean? So, anyway, so we'll get on to the next part. We got the world and the seven of coins. So I was just saying, like the world is Saturn, is ruled by Saturn, which can be Aquarius or Capricorn, but there's just this whole like, I feel like there's something you know how to do, and it's not quite, it's like you know how to do it and you see yourself being good at it, like, and you see growth in it, and you feel like you could be successful there, and it would be new for you, but not that new. You know what I mean? Like you're familiar enough that you think you could be successful in it, but you would have to leave behind another situation. Like I'm kind of getting the sense that these are romantic. It's like, do you want to stay with your current or ex? Do you want to go back to your ex? This one kind of feels like a friend or something that you're very comfortable with, that you're like, there's nothing wrong with them. It just doesn't, it feels very practical. Um, but then we have the star on the last one, which is Aquarius. And with that star energy, it's just like, okay, but this is what I actually want. But it almost feels like you're scared to take that step towards what you actually want, what you actually fantasize about, and you're okay with letting it just be a fantasy. And you know, let me just say, not everyone has what it takes to chase their dreams and go after a fantasy. And I'm not trying to call it the people that don't. It's just it's scary. It can be a risk, and not everyone's a risk taker. Some people are risk averse. So, however this relates, it's just you have these, and some people are going to be okay with letting that be a fantasy and letting that be a what if, because the the possibility of failure was too much for them. Like they couldn't handle it, so they may end up going with what's comfortable, but possibly not good for them, um, or what they know they could be successful in. It just doesn't feel as powerful or as alluring as the star option. So anyway, I'm gonna draw some more, see what else we get for these situations. Maybe advice. We'll see how the reading goes. Looking at this devil, like I was gonna draw more for the devil, but I just saw the eyes, and it's like almost a manipulation or a power over you. Like you belong here. This is what you're gonna do. Like someone, like something or someone has a control over you, basically. That you may need to. Yeah, I think you need to break. Like this doesn't seem healthy, but let me draw some cards for it. And I just heard in my head, this may just be an obligation you feel. They may not actually be doing this, but let's explore. So option one, I don't think is an option that needs to be on your table. Like it just, we got the star again. So I think this is the area of life that has kind of made you question your fantasy, that made you feel like your fantasy is unrealistic in some way. However, this is relating, because with that judgment reverse, it's just like it's not a good idea. Like you should plan more realistically with this card. Judgment reverse, judgment. That is a Pluto card, so that could be Scorpio again when you have Aquarius again. But we have this Page of Pentacles, and it's just like what will actually bring. This could be a career path, by the way, because it's almost like what actually will bring in the money, what actually has a good foundation. Doesn't have to be, but like what has what's the best image for you? Like it almost, I just got that image, so it's like what's in our best interest? What's in your best interest? What will make us look good? And it's just like, yeah, this looks good, but you're burning out quick. And oh, I forgot about this, but when I was pulling out the cards, it's almost like a this is what I do, you should be doing this too type of thing. Like whoever you're being influenced by in this option one, however this is influencing you, it's like they treat people like cookie cutters. Like this works for me, it should work for other people type of thing. And they're really stubborn about it. With this King of Wands and King of, or Knight of Wands. Okay, King of Swords and Knight of Wands. You could be dealing with a Gemini or Leo, but I I just heard aggressive language, like very direct but aggressive. And like I said, they're passionate, they're very passionate, like they have abundance of energy, but it's kind of like what I was saying earlier with the whole like I'm right, and because I'm right and because this worked for me, like this is what other people should do. They're very, it's like they have tunnel vision. It's like this is what worked. They don't see the other options. They don't see what has worked for other people. They see their limitations that they put on themselves. They see their success, and I think there's good intentions in here, but at the same time, they're trying to apply what worked for them to you. Like, and it's almost like I didn't have faith in myself. You shouldn't have faith in yourself either. So, and I think with this moon card, that's a Pisces card, by the way, I think you understand their viewpoint, which you kind of balance back and forth between appreciation and like, fuck you, man. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of why you're even in this situation here, or either in this situation or you still listen to them and take into their consideration for your life path. Because this rating really feels like this could be career, life path, it could be romantic. This feels like it could be so many different things. I'm not really sure how this applies to everybody. It could just apply in different ways to different people. But it just feels like you've really listened to somebody in this situation and you've gotten comfortable here. And yeah, it's been good to you maybe. It hasn't been bad, but it's not really what gets you going. You know what I mean? So with this Wheel of Fortune and this Eight of Swords, it's just kind of like, okay, you don't even know what you're capable of. Like, you haven't even allowed yourself to try it. Like, you don't even know. And with that Wheel of Fortune, like, if you don't even, like, the person in this Wheel of Fortune doesn't even really know what could be coming to them, what could be happening, but they're still putting in the effort. Good or bad, they're like, I want to be in this situation. Let's see what happens in this situation. Because this wheel is spinning, and we'll see when the clouds clear, we'll see what happens. But see, they are smiling. They're smiling because they want to be there. You don't want to be here. Option one doesn't really feel like the best option here. It just feels like you've let someone else control your life, and you're trying not to let them down, basically. So let's go ahead and get into option two. Refresher. The option two was the 7 coins in the world. It was the one where it wasn't what you really wanted to do, but you could see yourself being successful in it. And it kind of felt like a better option than option two, but we're going to draw some cards for it. Okay, so basically, well, let me show you the cards first. We got the Hangman, that's Neptune energy, that could be Pisces, doesn't have to be, but we also got the Nine of Swords, we have the Five of Cups, the Three of Wands, we have the Seven of Cups reversed, the Ace of Cups, water energy, we have the Ten of Cups, and we have the Three of Swords. So basically, you're not happy in the situation, kind of like what I said in option one, and you know it, but you're very worried about branching out into this option, and I just kind of feel like you don't know how long you're going to have to be uncomfortable in this option because it's new. You know, I feel like this is something that it's not so new that you couldn't be successful. Like, you're realistic, like, it was practical. Like, you have skill in this endeavor, whatever it is. It's just with this, like, you don't know how long it'll take you to cross that. You don't know how long. Like, do you have a motorboat, like a speedboat or anything, or do you have a paddle boat? Like, do you have to swim across? Like, you don't know what that is. But you do know you're sick of, like, trying to find pleasure is what's coming into mind, but happiness, whatever. And whatever situation this is, it's like, it ain't working. I've looked all avenues in this situation and it just ain't working. I want my emotional fulfillment and it ain't here. I want to feel blessed. I want to be happy where I am, and it's just not. It's not here. So that's kind of why it's like you're nervous, but you kind of want to go because right now you're just in pain and you're miserable and you're like, oh. So as far as advice, we got the Ten of Swords reversed, the Queen of Wands, that's an Aries card, and we got the Page of Cups, kind of water energy. So basically, what this tells me is kind of like an Aries. Sometimes Aries just doesn't think. They just fire, they go, and they're like, we're going to go do the thing. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you need to get out of your head. And sometimes you just need to do the thing because you are miserable here and you're thinking about this so much that it's kind of putting more burdens on your back. You're worried about it and you're just like, It's like, if this is what you want to do, go for it. Believe you have a little luck, be positive about it, put your best foot forward, and make it for yourself. Make the life for yourself, basically. The effort you put in is what you're going to get. If you're frozen with fear because of all this anxiety, you're not going to get very far. But if you let it go and you just, bam, just go with that Aries energy, just bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, Aries season, like, I don't know how many of you guys are affected by energy like other people, but if you notice, like the last little bit of Aries season, like a lot of people, some people wanted to fight. Some people don't handle Aries energy very well. Some people were more motivated, which is good. Some people were wanting to fight people. you know. So it's just kind of like that. Like, get ready to fire. Let's go. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the third option. What you actually fantasizing about, what you want, but for some reason you're not letting yourself go after it. We're gonna draw some cards for that one. Okay, so honestly, this pedestal you're putting this situation on is just that. It's a huge pedestal that you're kind of being unrealistic with whatever the situation is, you're kind of seeing it as like the ultimate, like, oh my God, there's nothing wrong in this situation. Like, it is perfect. It can never do anything wrong. And it's like, you sure about that? Because it kind of looks like it could. It has flaws. And once you find out about those flaws, it's like, anyway, we got the 9 of Wands, we got the 5 of Coins, we got the Knight of Swords. So basically, with these two if I can get the cards, these two came out together, and I was like, so why are you doubting yourself so much? Why? It was kind of you don't know if you have the strength, if you're good enough for the situation. Why don't you? 9 of Swords is an Aquarius card, by the way, but it's just kind of like, okay, you see the situation or this person as like a knight in shining armor, just like so romanticized, be it a job, be it a person, the life path, whatever. Like I said, this could go so many different ways. I've gotten the 10 of Cups twice because this deck has 2 of them, and the Ace of Cups. So this very well could be romantic, but it's just like, but you want to go after it, and it's almost like you don't really give other options a chance because this is your ultimate fantasy, and this is it. This is what's really just going to be the best thing ever. Hey, sorry, I was trying to. My dog was just going off barking, so I didn't want that to be in the video. Sorry if y'all heard that and disrupted it. Anyway, so what was I saying? It was just like, this is your ultimate fantasy, and you're just like, oh my God, like, yes, this is it, and like nothing can go wrong. Well, yeah, it can. Yeah, it can, because when I got into the whole, okay, I wanted to get into like what would you feel like if you actually got it. We got the Queen of Cups reversed. That's a Cancer card. We got the Queen of Swords. That's the Libra card. We have the Three of Cups, which this one just looks so blank to me, but. And we got the Strength card, the Leo card, which, by the way, the signifier or whatever, the indicator card for this option was the Star, which is Aquarius. So we actually have opposites here, which to me, that was like, this isn't what I thought it was at all. And that's kind of why I was kind of getting into there. Plus, there was other indicators, but with this Queen of Cups reversed, it's just like, this isn't the nurturing, emotional environment that I thought it would be. This isn't the sweet, compassionate thing it was. Like, this isn't actually what fulfills me. This, like, it's like you're seeking fulfillment outside of yourself, basically. Like, so this is kind of how it works. Like the 9 of Cups, you're supposed to get that yourself. You're supposed to be at a good level by yourself, kind of independent, don't really need anyone, but like someone else can provide that extra little bit. It kind of feels like you're having this fantasy that like, my life would be good if this happened. Your life is already good. Appreciate what you do for yourself. Appreciate you. Like, love you. Love your life. Easier said than done, but like, do things for you. Do exciting things for you. Don't become dependent for someone else to emotionally fulfill you, basically. And so with this Queen of Swords, I almost get a little bit of an attitude off of that. Like, I just want to cut them off. Like, the truth isn't as sweet as the fantasy, basically. So it's like, you may go through the actions of celebrating and everything, but it's like, this isn't exactly what I thought it would be if you ended up getting this. And you may find a lot of time just being like, please make it what I thought it was. Please do what I thought you would do. Like, before I lose my shit, basically. So like I said, it kind of feels like you are overly fantasizing about a situation, hoping that it would bring you that fulfillment that you're not getting. And it's probably because of how shitty that first situation is that you're used to. And it's just, I think I'm going to do a general advice just for whoever this is resonating for, all three of these options, just because I feel like there's some sort of like we need to work on ourselves, basically. But I'll actually draw cards. Okay, so I keep hearing you are enough, and you need to realize that. So we have the Five of Swords, not the Five of Swords, we have the Five of Wands, Page of Swords, air energy. We have the Nine of Coins, Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles, that's Taurus energy. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Six of Cups. We have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Eight of Cups. Basically, what I'm getting here is, like, you're so resistant to have these conversations and stand up for yourself. You're just hoping that someone else will swoop in and save you, basically. Coming back to that knight in shining armor thing. You're hoping that someone else will be your knight in shining armor. You fantasize about it, and it's like you need to be your own knight in shining armor, okay? You need to be there for yourself. You need to be sturdy and reliable for yourself. Because who's swooping in for you? Who's in it right now? Who's your hero? Stop looking for someone else to be your hero. Be your own damn hero, okay? Stop being the damsel in distress and start being the damn hero, okay? So, and with this combination down here, it's just kind of like you really appreciate when someone else does something to you, kind of like, oh my God, I don't even deserve this. Like, I'm trash, and you're just like so wonderful, basically, is kind of what I'm getting. Like, these type of vibes. Like, you just see yourself so less than, and that's so sad. Because you know what? We all are pieces of shit, is really what I want to say. We can all be pieces of shit. You know, no matter how good someone looks on paper, we can all be pieces of shit. And we can all be diamonds, okay? We can all shine, and we can all be dusty, okay? It really, so, like, give yourself a break, okay? Stop being like, stop this, what am I trying to say here? Validate yourself, okay? Validate yourself, and don't be so stuck on someone else's validation and being so surprised when someone wants to do something for you because you invalidate yourself so much. Like, come on, you're worth it. Like, people want you to join their parties, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, why me? Like, you question it so much because you just don't see it from yourself. But come on, we're all beautiful in our own ways, okay? So quit hating on yourself so much. I know easier said than done, but like, you are worth it. You are wonderful. Stop putting people on pedestals and realize that we're all pieces of shit, and we can all be dusty and we can all be shiny, right? Some of us are mixtures, some of us have a little more shininess, some of us have a little more dustiness. And that's okay. We're all people, we're all humans. These are all meat suits. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you know, it just is what it is. Stop treating people like they're so much better than you. You know, because you probably have a beautiful soul yourself, and you just don't see it shining. And that's why people want to do things for you, because they see it shining, right? So you shouldn't be so damn surprised. Anyway, hopefully these videos helped. You guys have a great night.